eat some popcorn, get a suit.
Get rubbed down.
I don't think there's happy endings over there, but
I didn't say that.
that's
It's a
what
massage. A massage is still a rub down.
You
immediately took it. You took it to the peen.
You knew where it was going.
Oh man,
you were trying to get that.
What a fucking pervert.
Guess who's back?
We're back.
No.
Oh.
Yes, we are. But CCICT's back with a crazy deal.
These guys are always giving stuff away.
They are. They're trying to hook you guys up. If you go in there and you buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max, what are they going to give you?
They're going to give you some AirPods, 4th gen AirPods for free.
For free. All you got to do is go in there and buy an iPhone 16 Pro Max. Where are they located?
They're at the Townie Small, across from the Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, that's
upstairs.
Upstairs, across from the Men's Warehouse.
By the delicious popcorn place.
Just take your nose and
follow your nose.
Smell the popcorn, baby, and they're right next door. Welcome back to the podcast.
Episode 20.
20.
Part 2.
20 part 2.
Oh,
we're just going to call it 20 because we're dummies. But that's okay because this one's going to be double as good.
Yeah. We practice. We got some practice.
We got a practice run in, and practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So we're back for that dose of weekly nostalgic nonsense, and we're the only podcast that can resurrect the exact taste of the Ninja Turtle pies that we had as kids. You remember those?
Yeah,
We're still working on Gushers, though. Those are a little tougher.
Ooh, it's a bitch.
Yeah, so I'm Averagetrav. He's Foodie Turtle Pie C, and he's going to be making some turtle pies soon, hopefully.
That sounds weird.
Is it?
It's like cream pie and a turtle. I don't know.
I don't even know where to go from there.
Anyway.
Feels like a very good segue into Retro Rewind.
Speaking of.
Brought to you by the Regent Theater this week for the first time ever.
Fucking Karate Kid.
Yes. You can only see the Karate Kid Legends at the Regent Theater. It's the only theater in the world you can see this movie right now.
Okay, well.
Do you believe that?
Exclusive. I do not.
It's exclusive.
Super fucking exclusive.
Got to get to Wellington to see Karate Kid Legends because it's the only theater in the country.
This movie is going to make hundreds of dollars.
Yes. Jerry's going to be super excited because they gave him the exclusive.
Fuck.
1995, Amazon launched Amazon.com.
Mm-hmm.
The e-commerce site began services initially as...
I'm going to be honest. I thought it was like paper or calendars or some bullshit.
He said paper, which kind of right, but it was a bookstore, an online bookstore originally.
It's a lot of paper.
It is a lot of paper. But yeah, this thing has grown, man. Like, obviously, duh, right?
Stupid rich.
It's insane. I just heard they're talking about spending $400 million to get next day shipping to rural places like here.
Dude,
right?
My kids always bitch like, hey, if we order something, can we order from your house? Because if I order it at mom's house, it takes us like a week to get it. Like, yeah, it sucks to suck.
Like, man, that's real bad because Wellington's in the middle of nowhere.
I mean, close enough, I guess.
I guess so. And so, like, there's some places that get same-day shipping.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I've been in Dallas for work before, and I've needed to order something, and it's like you order it in the morning, you're getting that sucker in the afternoon. So that's why there's
the future. That's the future.
There's a big warehouse there in Dallas, and so they can get it to you real fast if it's in stock there. So
that's insane.
It's just I wonder in 5 years what it's going to be.
Dude, I don't know. I think about that a lot with technology. Like, it's a matter of time before our phones like can read your mind, being like, yeah, text Trav, tell him this, and like I don't even have to say it or do anything. It's just going to do it for me.
At that point, are we going to even need a phone? Like, is it just going to be a pair of glasses? Is it going to be like an earpiece? Like, do we even need a screen at that point?
It's just something they put in your butt and it just knows.
I don't really want to insert something. You know what I mean? Like anywhere.
Don't knock it till you try it.
But I do think that it's at some point we're going to get to the point where we don't even need screens, and it's just either going to be glasses that have the screen on them, or an earpiece, or something that is screenless, and we can just talk to it, and it does what we need it to do. And
it'd be weird to see everybody with glasses, though.
It would, but I mean, I think you'd get real used to it real quick if everybody had those glasses on and they were just seeing through them, and it could identify that. That is that's peak technology for me. If I could wear a pair of glasses that had a screen in them and I could still see through
Like
it.
Tony Stark shit.
Yes, and then I could just be looking and like it would tell me that's Sonic, and I would just know, okay, yes, that's Sonic, even though it says Sonic below it. Like that's from Sonic 3, or that's Iron Man.
But they're gonna take it a step beyond that. They're gonna put a fucking chip in your head to where you just fucking see it. They're gonna have a neuro chip.
Want it,
dude. I saw where Elon was talking about how like he's gonna make it to where blind people can see. Like 2026.
That would be what?
Crazy.
In 1 year?
Yeah, he said, I saw something that said like by 2026, the end of 2026, they believe that like blind people will be able to see with like the Neuralink
Now that is technology at its best right there. If you're able to make blind people see, and then like we've already got iPhones that work as hearing aids.
Yeah.
Like this is what technology is meant to do, right?
That's what I'm saying though. But how long before you can like see this stuff? You know what I mean? Without glass and everything. I don't know. It's creepy, dude.
I feel like for me, at least right now, that's a little bit too far. Like
I'd do it tomorrow.
Really?
If they said that, hey, we'll put a chip in your head and you'll like be able to access like everything, like Spanish, Chinese, like whatever. Like, yeah, let's do it.
What happens when it's like in
like your Dell? I just fucking shut down because it's a piece of shit.
No, that's not what I was saying. I was talking about like the DC movie where they put the chip in their head and then they explode them whenever they're done with them.
That don't sound very cool.
No, like what if it was just like, what if they could just detonate it and it's...
I mean, what's to stop someone from just fucking shooting you anyway?
Yeah, but it's not like they have to go get the pew pew and they have to go bring it to where you are. And this is like...
You just hit a button, it's over.
You're done.
I don't know if you know about drones, but...
Oh,
kind of the same thing.
That's true. Or helicopters.
They also don't have to go anywhere.
No, that's true.
Anyways, where were we?
Yeah, that was just
speaking of Amazon.
That was just Amazon talk. I don't know how we got all the way down that rabbit hole.
Christ.
July 14th, 1995, Windows 95 announced its golden master of the revolutionary operating system, Windows 95. This is my very first real memory. I remember Windows 3.1, but I really remember Windows 95. This was not like my introduction to the internet per se. It was mostly my introduction to like to computer games and just being able to like put a CD in there and listen, and just a graphical interface. Like we talked a couple weeks ago, or maybe even last week, about how Windows 98 was like the introduction to the internet. Like it was built around the web. I don't feel like 95 was. I mean, you could get on the internet. Internet Explorer was on there, but it was way worse than anything that came after it, which is saying something.
I remember having to do some shit with like MS-DOS. Oh, God.
Yeah.
What a fucking disaster.
Yeah, just typing away, and I hope that's right. Hit enter, and nope, that
nope,
was wrong.
It was not.
Try again. So, yeah, 95, revolutionary for sure. But not, for me at least, not as revolutionary as Windows 98 was, because it wasn't connected like that.
Yeah.
Speaking about being connected, 2005, this week in 2005, YouTube was founded.
Hell yeah. I love YouTube.
YouTube's great. I mean, if you look at, we'll pop a screenshot of what it looked like in 2005 up so you guys can see it, but this is so basic.
Look like Google.
It does. It just looks like Google. Like you type in, I don't even know how you would know what to type into that search bar to find stuff. Like, I don't know. And then there's some tags below it. But you look at Google now, or I'm sorry, you look at YouTube now, it's just like, it sucks you in.
Yeah, it's bad. I literally will get on to be like, hey, how do I fix this? And then I'll like, oh shit, what's this chef doing? You know, like whatever. And then like 2 hours later, I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna fix that.
Dude, I was trying to fix that thing.
Dude, it's bad.
It's wild. I mean, they've definitely I think Netflix probably started that whole thing where it was just like, let me get you to the next episode as quick as I can. And then YouTube has done that. And I feel like YouTube's even better at it because there's so much stuff just to look at. And it does a really good job of finding things that are similar to what you just looked at.
What's wild though is I feel like shorts have become so popular, and it's crazy to me because like literally it's like Vine, like they're like fucking 6 seconds long. Some of them are just super short, and I just see the kids like
boop boop.
I'm like, you're not even fucking watching anything. You just hear a couple noises, you're like, ha, and then you just like go to the next shit. I'm like, you guys, like, I don't know, man. Sometimes it makes me.
as a content creator now,
Yeah,
it's like I really wish people had a little bit longer of a attention span.
it's so bad.
Because if you could just pay attention to what we're saying and
Mhm.
maybe swipe this way and go to our stuff and look at the rest of our stuff,
Yeah,
that would be great. But
Yeah.
instead, it's just boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Like you get, seriously, as content creators, I think we get 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say the
impress
analytics
somebody.
show you. It's like, oh, by 2 seconds they already
Yeah,
swiped
they're
away, and it's
done.
like,
And it's like,
Jesus, man. It's like
I'm not even into what I'm trying to say.
if I don't even have boobs out or something, it's
Yeah,
like, nope,
exactly.
nope,
Nope,
not
nope,
boobs.
nope. If I'm not a gorilla or if there's not boobs, then they're not
Yeah.
even. It's like, how
Yeah,
do you?
it's wild.
It's
man.
wild. So
It's hard being ugly on the internet.
it is ugly and a dude. That's real tough.
Yeah.
Let's get into some games. July 1991. This Sega beat 'em up. Alien Storm. Do you remember this?
Why does this creature look like a ball sack with a nose?
That is the gnarliest looking ball sack I've ever seen. If that's
That's not normal. That's not what yours looks like. Uh-oh.
Not at all. Is that what mine looks like?
I gotta call somebody.
Yeah, we need a teledoc now. We'll be back.
I'm on Amazon just showing them my balls. Like, is this normal? Tell me it's normal.
No, dude, the doc's like, no, dude, it's not. You need to get to a doctor now.
Oh God.
That is bad. And
Thanks, Bezos.
I don't think, I don't think this game was great at all.
I've never even heard of it.
I hadn't either. It looks like April O'Neil down there at the
In
bottom.
a bad Elvis impersonator.
And a bad Elvis guy. Yeah, it's like, what is happening? I saw some gameplay of this, and it really did look like a Ninja Turtles game with bad characters.
Damn.
So
yeah,
I don't
that
know.
doesn't look good at all. I don't know.
If you guys liked Alien Storm, let us know and let us know why. But I feel like this was not a great game.
Or if you've ever fucking heard of it.
If you've even heard of it, yeah, give us like a star if you've heard of it. Just anything in the comments if you've even heard of this game, and we'll kind of see what people think. But
like, leave a ball sack with a face in the comments if you've seen this game.
Please don't. Please don't.
Chat GPT to the rescue.
1999, Command and Conquer. This was Nintendo's port of a classic PC game. And this was a real-time strategy game that they ported from the PC.
I'm gonna look it up because I don't know if I know what this is.
So I feel like the PC game was good, and people thought this was a really good port.
Oh shit! Okay.
You know it?
Oh yeah. Damn, I never would have known that's what it was. But yeah, damn, that takes me back. Holy shit!
I guess I should start putting pictures for all of this stuff
That
in the
is
doc
crazy.
so that you can see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things like I never would have ever thought of it ever again. And then I see like the pictures from it, and I'm like, oh God.
So yeah, this real-time strategy games, in my head, real-time strategy games sound super fun. And then 5 minutes into playing every single one of them I've ever played, I'm so bored.
It's because you have to have like strategy and tactics and brains.
I have some of those things, just not all of them are geared towards trying to do this.
You're like, or functional at the same time.
They're just not geared towards trying to get this stupid game. Like I guess gaming for me is just a little bit less.
You are a different gamer. 100% you are a different gamer because fuck. I mean, how long have you been playing Halo?
Dude, 20 plus years.
You would not know.
Still not as bad as the Trav played with today.
Yeah, I played a little Halo before Trav came over to do this, and I was like, yeah, I had a Trav on my team. The kid went like 1-15, and we lost because that's the worst when you're like you lose like 47-50.
Yeah,
because you had a kid who went
guy.
fucking 1-15, and
Right.
It's like maybe just sit in the fucking corner and
you don't die so
Yeah.
that we can win. Yeah, I mean, but for all you know, that was a 50-year-old dude that's been playing for 30 years.
like I'm living proof that can happen.
Like, yes, but I do feel gaming for me is not like this. I don't want to be super intense about it. Like, I want to win. Don't get me wrong. I like playing. I like the whole Halo stuff. I like Fortnite. Like, I like that whole thing. But I put a lot of brain power into work. And so, like, when I'm playing games, I'm not trying to use all of that same stuff. And so
He said, I've already shut down.
it's like
I'm running at 5%.
This is my cooldown time, and
Yeah.
so like it's just different for me. So real time strategy, not my jam, but people liked it, and you obviously remember playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, 2000, the PS1 was released. So this is not the PlayStation one that came out before it. This was the PS one. You remember it was the smaller one?
Yeah, and the funniest thing is like with that last one, I almost commented about how you're talking about like shutting down your brain. And I was like, I just imagine you getting overheated and it smelled like that big ass old PlayStation with just hot ass heat just
that
resonating.
Thing, when that fan would start going and blowing that hot heat out of that thing, like it had a smell.
So that was like the segue. It's like I just imagine you get home from work and it's like you have to like decompress like the old fucking PlayStation. Otherwise, you just fucking burn out.
That thing, and so this one was smaller. It was, I think, it had less moving parts, and you could actually put it on the TV stand and it not melt your TV. So, yeah, people really liked the smaller redone PS1 version, and then came the PS2 after that. But okay, you guys ready for this? It's Cartridge conundrum time. This one's a little bit different.
Okay.
We're gonna use our imaginations a little bit here, okay? So let's fire up the time machine and go back to the year 1995. Picture it. It's Friday night. You just rode your bike to Blockbuster, and you've got that membership card in your hand. You're ready to rent the game that you're going to play all weekend, because we just played one game all weekend when we rented them. You sprint over to the SNES section, because this is the newest game console out right now. The new release wall is decimated. WWF Raw, gone. Donkey Kong Country 2, all checked out. That last copy of Mortal Kombat 3, the kid right before you just saw him take it from behind that picture. So you decide you're going to go check the not new release wall, because a lot of times somebody would put a new release behind one of those to hide it so they could come back later and get it. So you check Mario Kart, nothing's behind there. Raw's gone. It's all bad. You're hoping for a miracle, but no luck. All the games are rented, and all that's left on this not new release wall is a single WCW game just sitting there lonely, waiting to be rented. You look at the box, and you're so freaking disappointed. It's a 16-bit NES game, but it's from last year. But it is named after one of WCW's biggest pay-per-views of the year, so maybe it'll be all right. So the conundrum this week is, what was that lonely WCW game sitting on the Blockbuster shelf that you ended up taking home that night and playing all weekend? You got it?
I have no idea. But I will say, pro tip from back in the day, what I used to do, though, is like you also have to check to see if it's been returned.
Yes, you could. It might be behind the counter. You're right.
Sometimes you check the box and be like, oh, I got one right here. And it's like, oh, fuck yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was an awesome feeling when it's like, or when you walk in and you see it sitting on the counter there, and you know there's none over there, so you just go ask.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great tip. I agree.
Love that.
Go back in time and do that at Blockbuster if you missed your game.
Do that. It's going to be great. It's
going to be awesome. You're going to love us for it. Let's get into a little bit of pop culture.
Yeah.
Really, movies is all that it is this week. 1992, A League of Their Own. You remember this movie?
Yeah, there's no crying in baseball.
That's right. Thank you, Tom Hanks.
We don't do that bullshit. It was such a good movie, though. I liked it.
It was a good movie. Girls playing baseball back in the early, was it the 20s, 30s?
It was during
60s
war, right?
I don't know enough about it.
I feel like that's why they were playing, because the men were at war.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
In skirts.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good movie, though. Like, there was lots of emotion. You got to see some baseball. Like, this was a good movie. Okay. We're going to move on to 1996. Epic summer blockbuster.
Damn.
Independence Day.
Yeah.
Like, Will Smith, cigars, and aliens.
Yep.
It doesn't get much better than that. The only thing that could have made it better is if it had an epic song in it. And I don't think they had figured it out by then.
Yeah.
But,
however,
the next year, we get more aliens. We get more Will Smith.
Like, that worked really well. Let's do it again, just a little different.
And we get an epic song. Here come the MIBs. Dude, I can still groove to that.
That bass is popping.
It is.
It's all I hear. It's just like, God, they killed it. But like, it's a good song, and you hear it, it's like, man, that's a good song, but it's not relatable whatsoever.
Oh no.
like, when are you ever gonna like, man, I wish I had a song about fucking aliens and the government and shit? And it's like, oh yeah, I got you. Like,
It definitely was made for the movie.
yeah, so
But
little,
and it's cool. Like, yes, it's definitely like the beat and all of that. But the
yeah,
words, it's just like, what is he even talking about?
yeah, no,
Nothing.
I don't fucking know.
That's what he's talking about. But yes, I mean, so pair a really good movie, funny. The aliens were funny in this movie.
Yep.
There was just some really weird, wacky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so good movie with a great summer song. And this movie did super well in the theaters. So that's the combo that
Yeah.
Hollywood has followed.
You better
since.
not have a good movie without having a fucking banger of a song in the
Gotta
summer.
have a
because,
bop in there.
Yeah.
So the next year,
Yeah.
no Will Smith, no aliens, but we get space.
Okay.
And we get this song. Okay, so
I'm still crying.
I am. This is the first and probably only movie in my life that I have shed a tear because when Bruce Willis, spoiler, by the way, if you haven't seen it,
Oh God.
pause it here. But when Bruce Willis switches places and he shuts the door and he's left in space and they take off, I was just like, holy crap, that guy's such a good guy. That's gonna make me cry. And so awesome song, really good movie. Also, fun fact, this is the only #1 hit that Aerosmith ever had.
That sounds fucking crazy to me.
Fact check me, let me know, but that's what I read, is that this is the only #1 hit that Aerosmith ever had. And they had so many good songs.
I'm gonna have people text me like, God damn it, Travis, he was wrong again. I'm like, yeah, he does that.
I mean, hopefully I'm not. Okay. 1999. No Will Smith.
No aliens.
No aliens.
No outer space.
No space. No song, really.
No.
But there was pies.
I love
American Pie.
I love pie, not to the extent that they love pie.
No.
But I do love pie.
Yes. I like pie as well, but definitely I don't love pie.
That's good. That's very good.
This movie, not really my jam, not really something that I like sought out. I've probably seen parts of it, but I don't know that I've even ever seen the whole movie.
I feel like I've seen it. I know they've made a handful of other ones, and
oh yeah, for sure.
I kind of hate when movies do that. Like, and it's one thing to have like a cheesy, funny, goofy movie, but then when you just keep running it to the ground, I'm like, God damn, just let it die already.
Speaking of that, 2001, Fast and Furious. They have had so many Fast and Furious movies.
I agree. It's
wild.
ridiculous.
But this one was the very first one. Vin Diesel was so cool in this movie, I thought, anyway. And the Challenger in this car, or the Challenger in this movie, was just so freaking cool. Like, as a kid that loved hot rods back then, seeing a hot rod on the big screen and popping that wheelie like that and just having the big blower out the top of it and was just so cool. Very unrealistic.
Yeah.
Because it, like, just the way that all that happened there's just no way. But this was the first of these was really good. Maybe the second one was okay too, and then it's just wild after that.
I don't know that I've ever even sat and watched one, to be honest with you.
Yeah, even this one?
No.
Wow. All right. Well,
there's that.
Let us know if you like Fast and Furious, or if you like Fast and Furious 17 better. I don't know if anybody will tell us that.
Assisted living. Jesus.
They're racing their walkers. They got their wheelchairs.
But not their Paul Walkers.
Oh, no. I definitely just ran and crashed and burned into that one, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Just like Paul Walker.
Just like Walker did. R.I.P. Okay. Let's take it up a notch.
Oh, God.
I'm still emotional.
We finally made it.
We made it to Bash at the Beach in 1996.
What a crazy match.
What a crazy buildup.
Yeah, that was wild.
Just the whole buildup that we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 weeks. The outsiders are there. They're terrorizing everything. It's all Hall and Nash are coming to the ring without their partner. They don't have the third guy. They don't even have him. They're like, just kidding. We don't even need a third guy. We can take on your best with just the 2 of us, right? And so this ends up being a 2-on-3 handicap match. But in typical wrestling fashion, one of the main guys, Lex Luger, gets hurt. Right?
What a coincidence! Yeah.
Oh man, he hurt. He hurt himself. So now it's a 2-on-2 tag, just a regular tag match, and the WCW is winning. They just are whipping up on Hall and Nash, and here it is. The Hulkster comes down the ramp to save WCW
He's
from
gonna make
the
sure
outsiders.
they get that W.
They got to get that win over these bad guys. He gets in the ring. It looks like he's going to take out Hall and Nash. And what's he freaking do?
Leg drop.
He leg drops Macho Man.
What a bitch.
What the heck, Hulk?
I just imagine little kid Trav just losing his shit.
No way, dude. I remember I was sitting in one of my dad's friends' living rooms. We were watching this pay-per-view, and I saw that happen, and I cried. Like,
fuck this bitch. Fuck this bitch.
I could not believe that my hero, freaking say your prayers, take your vitamins, Hulkster, was turning into a freaking bad guy, and he just leg dropped one of his best friends, and he was going to now be with the outsiders. I couldn't believe it.
It's pretty badass, though.
It was awesome. Like, looking back at it.
Looking back.
I don't think he could have done this in the WWF. Like, I don't think Vince would have let him turn heel.
Yeah.
Because I just think
that
Vince
was his pony boy for sure.
Yeah, I don't think Vince would have thought that was a cool idea. But Bischoff was a visionary, and he saw it. So they're standing after the match. They're standing in the ring. Everybody is just pissed, and they're throwing cups and popcorn buckets and beer and everything, and it just the whole ring is full of trash as he's talking. And I don't even remember what he said, because at that point it wasn't even it wasn't
said
even
call me
important.
Hollywood now.
It wasn't even important, because it was just, now Hulk is a bad guy, so what's going to happen? And so this started such a cool freaking era in wrestling.
I agree. It was my favorite.
It was so awesome, dude. The NWO really era in WCW was just so cool. Seeing who was going to come over there and join those guys, just seeing how they were just rebels, and they just kind of, everything you knew about WCW was kind of getting turned on its head.
And I think that's what was crazy, is like the fact that you never had any idea what was going to go on at any given time, who was going to come out, who was going to change sides, like whatever. And especially in that time too, like when WWF was taking over WCW, it's like, I might see a fucking McMahon in here. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. So like, it was completely just like, I don't know. We'll just see what fucking happens.
Yeah, it was really good, entertaining TV for at 11 and 12-year-olds for sure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm sure adult dudes were loving it too. So, but this was just a pivotal, it just changed everything.
Yeah.
And so, such a big deal, and it started you still see stuff that's written in that same script, the NWO script. People still mimic that today.
Yeah.
20 years later.
Yeah.
So, it just changed things a lot. So, that was a big one.
I like it.
Okay. 1980. We're going back a little bit, but I think it's well deserved, because Queen was so good, still is so good. Like, their stuff still rocks.
Yep.
And the album, The Game, came out in 1980. This week in 1980. Do you remember any of the songs? Could you name one?
I'm sure I would know them, but I couldn't just tell you like, oh yeah, this is from The Game.
I couldn't have either, but here's the first one.
That doesn't even sound like Queen to me.
I agree.
That doesn't. I don't know.
Like, you've heard that song?
Yeah.
Did you know it was Queen?
I didn't even know. No.
Right. Like, I feel the same way. Like, I heard that and I'm like, wait, that's Queen? Like,
yeah, that's wild.
That rockabilly sound, like, it almost is like an Elvis type throwback.
Yeah. I don't know. It definitely didn't sound like Queen.
But it's definitely like a really iconic song. Like, we've all heard it.
Yeah.
And so, but this one, everybody knows this is Queen. Oh man.
More iconic bass. It's like, I started as a musician, like, by playing bass, and like that's like one that everybody learns off the get-go. Like, I'd be surprised if there's a bassist out there who has not learned that song.
Yeah, and it's like, is it a hard one to play?
No, you could probably play it today.
Like, it's so it just
Yeah.
catches you. That's
Yep.
the very first. That's the first 5 seconds of that song,
Yep.
and it's like, oh, I know it, and that's cool, and I want to listen to the rest.
Absolutely.
So, Crazy Little Thing Called Love and Another One Bites the Dust off of the Game album in 1980 was just that Queen was just awesome, and still they have really good songs. They're super listenable now.
Pioneers, man.
Okay, maybe not as listenable to now, but 1985, Susudio by Phil Collins.
It's a fucking bop still, but what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what are we talking about here?
I don't know.
I couldn't tell you any of the lyrics of the song. I couldn't tell you what this means or what the song's even talking about, but it's like you put it on, it's like, goddamn, yeah.
That synth rock back then, dude. I feel like it's coming back a little bit.
It is, yeah. Some of the bands I listen to, like Emarosa, they kind of started with like a Dance Gavin Dance thing. Johnny Craig was in it. Completely kind of just fucking changing and putting some more of these elements back into it. So
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's I think we're still good.
This message is being broadcast by the Department of Defense of the Republic. A paranormal anomaly affecting the entire nation has been detected.
Okay.
The fuck is going on here?
I don't know. I don't even remember where we were.
We've got helicopters flying around. We're losing electricity.
Power.
We're about to start a fucking war. Like, we need to finish this podcast before something bad happens.
Something is going on. Something's in the air.
Somebody doesn't want us talking about Dire Straits.
That's right. So we're gonna do it.
We're gonna fucking do it.
Doing it. Suck it, someone.
Fuck you, Epstein. He's got nothing to do with it, but fuck Epstein, right?
Yeah. F that guy. Okay. The number 1 album this week was Dire Straits. And the really the biggest song on this one is this. Yeah, I know it's a little weird, but if you just look up Dire Straits "Money for Nothing,"
okay,
the video, everybody remembers this video.
Sounds like some ZZ Top shit.
It does. I agree. It does sound a little like ZZ Top until you start singing, and then it doesn't.
Okay.
But this one was like a computer generated dude and his dog, and it was really early computer generation. And it shows them playing on a TV.
We're gonna have to look at this because I have no fucking idea.
You gotta look this one up. I'm almost positive you've seen this video at some point.
We'll see.
So we'll see. Yes, I agree. We will see. Okay, it is Back to the Future week, people.
Oh shit,
We're doing the event. I got the Back to the Future shirt on for it. We're doing the event on the 3rd at the Regent Theater here in Wellington, and that's
gonna be fun.
In honor of this movie, we are gonna play you a little bit of this song.
Love is a curious thing.
I feel like Huey Lewis, pretty good little rock star back then.
Yeah,
like he had some good songs. They don't all translate now, but I mean, I think that they're still good songs, and this one especially, like "The Power of Love," was still a really good song.
Yeah.
But yeah, the event on the 3rd, guys, come join us down here in Wellington. Like, we're gonna have vendors, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have beer, we're gonna have a movie at the end.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good time.
All the good things.
Yeah, we're gonna have a arcade console out there for you guys to play.
I might wear pants.
I'm gonna be hot as crap, but there will be some surprises along the way. So yes, come check us out down in Wellington at the Regent Theater, 6 o'clock to 7:30 for the event, and then 7:30 the movie's gonna start. Come support Jerry, come support us, and see a movie for free. So, okay, I don't know how this song got past the rating system, but he figured it out. Sir Mix-a-Lot, 1992.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny.
This video is just him standing on a big peach, but you know it's not a peach.
It's a butt.
It's buns.
It's a big old butt.
It's a big old butt.
The funniest thing about this song, though, is like there's got to be so many weddings and parties like across the nation, and there's just a bunch of 40-year-olds running around shaking their ass to this song.
As soon as it hits, you just get down to it.
Yeah.
I feel like there was kind of 3 genres of this kind of music back then. You had the gangster rap like NWA and those guys that were just hardcore.
Yeah.
And then you had MC Hammer, who was just like not hardcore
No.
at all in his hammer pants and his dance.
I heard he was a pretty hardcore dude, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But he knew how to make his money.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you had Sir Mix-a-Lot, who was kind of in the middle. I feel like he was
Just
kind of a
jumping on
hardcore
asses.
guy.
Yeah.
And he was talking about stuff that MC Hammer would have never talked about. But he was still mainstream enough that he was on the radio all the time. And so this one's just iconic. You know, oh, my God, Becky, I can't look at her butt. All of that stuff is just so funny. And, yeah, this one still is a jam. I mean, you still put this on, and everybody's going to get down to it no matter what you're
Guaranteed.
doing. So, yeah. Okay, this one is a little bit weird, but I don't think I have listened to this song since I've been a dad. And when I heard it the other day when I was getting ready for the show, it hit me different.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I thought this song was super gay. Like, like why? When I was a kid.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's lame.
But hearing it now,
For what it's like kisses after bedtime prayer.
almost this song almost will make you tear up.
Yeah.
If you've got a daughter and you think about what he's talking about in this song.
It's just a dude who loves his kids, and before you're like I said, you listen to it as a kid, and you're like, "This is dumb. Why would you do that?" And like now, it's like you have kids, and you're like, "Oh God."
Yeah, this dude loved his kid,
Yeah,
and he wrote a song about her, and so like, yeah, it's just not the best song ever, but definitely worth him writing for sure, because I'm sure it's really special to a lot of people.
Sure.
And it hit different when I listened to it as a dad. So things change.
Yeah, but you know what else hits different?
Lots of things.
So this is First Man Brewery out of Derby, Kansas, right down the road from us. And my dad was in there just chatting with these guys, and he gets to talking, and he's like, yeah, my son does food stuff, and it turns out, like, I talked to him, and it's like, yeah, they had talked to me about going out there in my food truck. Obviously it didn't work out because my food truck was hit by somebody, but he's like, man, I had this peach sour here, and it's so good. He's like, I'm gonna bring it to you. And I told him a bunch of podcasts on how you guys do beer and stuff. So yeah, my dad went and bought a bunch of beers, and so this is like an airmail from Hosey, essentially, from First Man. So
we're gonna give it a shot. It's peach sour.
Yeah, 7%
alcohol. It was canned 2 days before we recorded this episode of the podcast. So this is going to be probably the freshest beer I've ever had. I don't know that I've ever had
crazy
fresh brewed beer like this. So we're going to give this a taste.
I'm going to be honest. I already had one. Like that night he come over, he's like, check this out. And I was like, man, that's good.
That has a lot of flavors.
There's a lot of flavor.
Like it's I feel like there's a little bit of a shandy to it. Like,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like that. It's that sweetness.
Yeah.
Like obviously the lemonade's not in there, so you don't get that part, but it's got the fruit. Yeah, this is not bad at all. This is really good.
And I like sours, so I mean that's pretty good. And that we've been working hard, like shouting out Shiner, trying to get some attention and all this stuff, because we're big Shiner people. But I was like, well, shit, maybe First Man wants a tattoo. I don't know. We'll figure this.
So we'll take a break from Shiner this week, and we will shout out First Man.
Yeah,
because this is a good little peach. I don't even like peach.
It's solid.
But this is really good, guys. Like, check this out. I'm gonna go right now, and I'm gonna go on Untapped.
It's a tall boy too. Look at that.
It is Untapped. Untapped, and we're gonna go for first. You know what the origin is?
I don't know what that means.
Like, why is it First Man?
I have no idea. We'll have to ask him and get that. We'll address it later. They have a really cool logo though. Like, I love that.
Yeah, it's that dude with a hop. Hops is his beard.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's neat.
These guys, it looks like they just started in 2022.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who knows? I was talking to Dad about it, and he's like, man, they got a sweet patio. He's like, you need to tell him. Dad's all excited about getting out on that patio. And I was like, maybe we can go out there sometime, make some carnitas, just throw some tacos together. I think that'd be a badass night, though. Just hanging out back with a big old copper pot or something, making some carnitas, handing out tacos, drinking some sours or something. Shit, I don't know. We'll make it happen. It'll be a fun event.
Sorry, it's taking me a minute. Here we go. Forbidden Peach, is that what it's called? No, that's a hard seltzer.
It just says peach sour. Maybe they're not on there. Can you add them?
So First Man is here.
Okay.
I've got a goodness of an Ambrose, a gracious, a first ward problems. No, that's not them. And then a snakeskin and a brown ground and a hollow and an old friend. Powers menace. I'm not seeing this one though. Ooh, they have a bananas. Okay, well, we're going to figure that out, and we're going to get this one on Untapped one way or the other, because that's the first time I've ever seen a beer not be there, but I do see their brewery, so I know that they at least participate, so we'll figure out how to get this beer on there, and I'll rate that sucker.
I like it.
And then we'll maybe you'll hear some more from these guys on the podcast soon, and we'll go from there.
Maybe we'll do a podcast there.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
That would be fun. Hang out in a brewery doing a podcast. Shit.
Yeah, I like that idea. Okay. Thanks, Hosey.
Yeah.
Hosey's Mike's dad. So right now, we are going to take you guys on a little trip back to June 26th, 2025.
We're taking you way back.
When we recorded an interview with Bob Cummings.
Yeah.
Bob's the dude that's going to bring the DeLorean to the Wellington Theater, and he's got he thinks only 3 DeLoreans in the state. The other 2 don't run, he doesn't think. And we interviewed him, and he's got a really cool car lot in Wichita, Kansas.
Crazy cars in there.
Euro
That's
Asian.
wild.
He's got, 40 or 50 cars out there. Half of them are 80s and 90s cars.
He might even sell you one of them.
He would sell you one of them, just maybe not the ones that he really likes. But he's got some really cool cars there. Check out Euro Asian website. Just search them Euro Asian on Google. You will find their website. He's got a YouTube channel as well. But we're going to take you to that, and we will be back after we talk to Bob. So, Bob Cummings, you are the guy that's bringing the DeLorean down to Wellington for the 4th of July Back to the Future block party.
Yeah, sounds like an awesome event.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. We're going to have all kinds of vendors down there. We're going to have a beer garden. Going to have a DeLorean, thanks to Bob, a DJ. So it's going to be super fun.
Yeah, it's I get a lot of when you have a DeLorean, you get a lot of requests, and
I would imagine.
can I rent that for my wedding, and can I drive it for graduation? It's like
Yeah, I don't think I'm letting you drive it.
Yeah, exactly. So what I kind of do is, it's just kind of like when somebody calls me about something, it's like, hey, is this something that I would personally want to do and participate in? It's like,
right.
Yeah, it's all good.
How did you end up with it?
Well, I'm a classic car dealer, so
okay.
and DeLorean's always been like a bucket list car of mine, and I've had 3 or 4 of them over the last 10 years or whatever. But this one here, it used to, one of them was projects. One of them I shipped to Australia.
Oh wow!
Believe it or not. And and a couple of projects, and I had one that had 2,000 miles on it. So it was literally
smokes.
it was a perfect museum quality car, and I drive all my cars, so it's like, so I sold that one, and this one used to be on the website, but I marked it sold, and I was just like, I can't sell it. It's just going to my personal collection.
So do you drive it very often?
Oh yeah, I drive it regularly.
Everyone just stares at you like when you're passing and everything.
It's a little weird because you're driving down the road, and it's like, and the car is the it's like when somebody's driving a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that, right? Everybody's like looking inside, like who's driving, right? Yeah. Look inside the car. But with the DeLorean, they don't care who's in the car. The car is the star.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's cool.
And Exactly, and that's what's kind of cool. But it is a little unnerving though, because when you're going down the road, the thing you do have to pay attention to is there's always people in your blind spot taking photos and pictures. You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
would
saying?
imagine.
So it's just weird when you're driving down the road and there's just cars like hovering around you taking pictures. So you got to be a little extra cautious and mindful when you're driving it.
Yeah, for sure. But that thing, I mean, this movie, Back to the Future, just made it's a cool car anyway. Like it's just
It is,
with
yeah,
the way that it's all metal and the gull wing doors and all of that stuff. It's cool, but this movie made it
yeah,
so much cooler, and it's just
yes.
lasted. It's lasted time, and it's so awesome. Do you know how many of those there are in Kansas? Is it one of the only ones?
It's kind of funny, DeLoreans. They made a little over 9,000 total. So there's they built them really. Production really was only about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So there's 81 and 82, right? That was the actual production
Okay.
timeline. And then when DeLorean got shut down, they had leftover 82s and they revend them to 83s when they sold all of the remaining inventory to a company called Consolidated, and then they finished up just a handful of the leftover cars and then revend them in 83. And that's actually what mine is
Oh, it's
is
an
an
83.
83 5-speed. Yeah, and it's only got like 15,000 miles on it.
That's
So
Oh wow,
crazy.
it's a
it's
manual.
yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
All
black
right.
interior, manual transmission with 15,000 miles on it.
And you
So,
haven't done
yeah,
you
it's
haven't
a
done
it's an
any
exceptional car in its
you
own
haven't done
right.
any of the Back to the Future
But
stuff
as
to it,
far as in
right?
Kansas, I know that there's probably three, including mine, running cars in Kansas. I know two guys here in town, in Wichita, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I know two guys here in Wichita that have one, and then people driving around and stuff. But you don't see them really out on the road that much,
Uh-uh.
And I like to jump into mine and go to town and go to Old Town, go to dinner or whatever. I like to cruise it around. I've even taken it like. I did a deal one time. I bought a car in Oklahoma, and I bought a Jaguar, which is an old Jaguar, which is historically unreliable, and then the DeLoreans are historically unreliable. So
Yes,
I,
I've
I
heard.
actually took the DeLorean and road tripped it all the way to Oklahoma to pick up another car and road tripped it back. So I'm
Awesome.
like, heck, I don't care, man. I drive it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's got a V8 in it?
No, they're V6s.
Oh,
It's an
are
all
they?
aluminum V6. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 2.8 liter V6. It's called a PRV engine, and what it was a conglomeration between Volvo, Peugeot, and Renault.
Okay.
And I call it the small block Chevy of Europe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because everybody used this engine. It was used in Renault's used them. Volvo used it in like when they had in the early 80s, they had a Volvo 262, it was a four door, the V6, same basic engine. There's a lot of different cars that have used that engine.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you do for work. Like what's your car dealership? What's it called? How long you had it? What do you do over there?
Yeah. Yeah, so Euro Asian Auto Incorporated. I'm over by 29th and Broadway. It's 2829 North Broadway. And I've been there, geez, it's 32 years now.
Wow.
So been there a long time and started off, I've always had a used car dealer's license and a salvage dealer's license. And we started off and we're primarily a foreign car salvage. That's kind of really,
Okay.
I mean, that was the business. I took over an existing business that was a salvage yard, and me and my wife took it over. I was 21 years old when I took over this business.
Wow.
It's kind of crazy. And so, yeah, 32 years. And then over the last probably, we've always sold cars. We might have 3 or 4 cars for sale or something like that. Like it might be a project car or something like that. But over the last 10 years, we still have the salvage, but we've kind of dialed it back and really, I guess just because really I enjoy it more, but I focus on the cars, and
Mhm.
so we got anywhere usually between 50 and 60 cars on the website.
Oh, wow. Are they all
Yeah,
locally in
and
Wichita, or can anybody
oh
buy,
yeah.
like anybody across the country buy them and you'll ship them? How does it
Oh,
work?
we ship out a lot of cars. Yeah, we ship cars all over the country. No, we've shipped cars. I've had cars go to Mexico, Australia,
Dang.
Austria, Canada. Um, uh, I even had the car go to Japan. So
That's
we get
Dang.
a
crazy.
lot of interesting stuff. We have regular cars, but we're kind of 50-50. We got regular cars, good Volvos, BMWs, VWs, Audis, and all that stuff. But then we have kind of collector cars too. So if you look at our website, biggest compliment I ever got is somebody says, you have a car for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
was looking
cool.
through that thing, and that
Yeah.
82 Porsche 911 is freaking
Yes.
sweet, dude.
Oh, it's always a gray area too, because like I'm a crazy car enthusiast and I love cars and so I own all the cars 'cause I own the
Right.
business, right?
Do you want to
But
sell that one?
there's a really gray line between what's I'm really trying to sell
Yeah.
and what's just for display. But that 930 turbo, that's legit car, Grand Prix white with can red interior.
so
it's
cool,
it's
man.
just sick. Yeah.
What is
It's
the most
funny.
expensive car you have right now?
On hand right now, probably that car. It's
Yeah.
about
Yeah, it's
140,000.
140 on the website.
Yeah,
For
and
an
it's
82, like that thing is hell. That's more expensive than it was when it was new, right?
oh, absolutely. That was probably a 40,000, 30 some
Mhm.
$40,000 car new.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was that. Well, let me see, an 80. Yeah, it's probably around just under 50. But yeah, those cars. If in my car, it's not a matching numbers engine. Somebody at some point, blew up the engine, and
As they do.
so it has like it had a new Porsche unstamped short block in it. But if it was because the car's only got like 30,000 miles
Oh,
on
yeah.
it, but if it was a numbers matching car in the condition and miles that it is, it's a $200,000 car.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
dang.
Isn't that crazy?
Jeez Louise.
What's the
Yeah.
cheapest car you have?
I know. $5,000-6,000.
Oh wow, that's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. We
I
have,
saw
like I said,
like a
'cause
Renault or something on there that was like $6,000.
the Fuego.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of have a problem. I kind of rescue cars like people rescue puppies.
It's going to the pound.
'Cause yes, I know. I know because like that Renault, that car was sitting in somebody's garage for like 15, 20 years, and there's none of those left. And so I went all the way down to southwest Texas. I mean,
Oh,
like
wow.
long way away, and hauled that back and resurrected it and got it going again. Because if I don't save it, who's going to save it? And we
Sure.
do save some cars, some rare and unusual cars
That's
and
pretty
stuff.
cool.
And it's kind of a sickness that I have.
Yes, it's cool. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff is from the 80s and 90s, those collector cars, right? And so that's really
Yeah,
the sweet spot
that's
of
my
our
wheelhouse.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot of our podcast is 80s and 90s stuff. I was telling you over text a week or so ago, we're both turning 40 this year. I've already turned 40. He's turning 40 in a couple of months.
Yeah.
And so, we're born in 85 and grew up in the 90s. And so
Yeah.
all of those 80s and 90s cars are the things we grew up around and saw.
Right.
And, that Porsche 911, like that thing is just iconic in my brain from just being a 90s kid, right? You saw those things in movies and TV shows, and they're just so cool. So it's really cool.
And they built the 911 so long, they built the 911 from basically 65 to that body style, the air cooled 911. They built it from 65 to basically 89, and then in 90 they changed it and they built it to about 95. So it really, because there's some cars that people like from their childhood, like really like focus on, but that car catches so many people because it had such a long production run that 70s kids
Everybody remembers it.
Yeah, 80s kids, 90s kids, because it's just been around for so long. That's why they're so popular. They have such a huge following.
Yeah, they are. My son's he's 15 and he's been sending me cars. He's like, I want to get a Porsche, like an old one, like the 2010 4-door. They're like 10, 11 grand. And he's like, they're cheap. They're so cheap for Porsches. And I'm like, dude, it's still like
the 4-door, the sedans, like the Panamera.
Yeah, the Panamera. It's that one.
Oh, how funny!
Yeah, he's really into those things. He's like,
that's funny that he's wanting the Panamera. That's unusual.
I know, but he's showed me some really cool ones. He's like, I want to do all this stuff to it, and his text to me was, I want to modify it with my own money. He said, and my text back to him was, yeah, after you buy the car with your own money, because I think he was implying that I was going to buy the car and he was going to modify it.
That sounds right.
So anyway,
that's funny. Yeah. So it sounds like he hasn't fallen too far from the tree, huh?
Yeah, no, not too far. So tell us about. You said you were building an arcade in your basement. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, it's funny. So I'm a kid of the 70s. I was born in 69,
Yep.
right? So like I'm a kid of the 70s, but I'm kind of a teen and a child of the 80s. I graduated high school in 87. So if you stop and think about that, when arcades, I mean, when they just were at the heyday, right? I mean, like the peak, I'm like 10, 12, 14 years old, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, I grew up,
Perfect time.
I mean, I feel so lucky, right? Because I remember when I'm in the arcades and, when the new machine came out, I mean, it's like, I remember when I saw the first Pac-Man and, you guys, they were all out when you guys,
Yeah, for sure.
recognized them.
Mhm.
But I was literally there watching them, the
They
brand
rolled them in
new.
on the friggin' cart. Yeah.
Exactly. Every week you go to the arcade, it's like, what new game is here? What
That's
new
cool.
That
game
would
is
have been
here?
so
So,
cool.
so I popped in so many quarters in arcades in my youth, man. That
Yeah.
always scrounging for quarters.
Yeah.
Playing. I love Donkey Kong. That was probably one of my favorite arcade cabinet games or whatever. And then pinball too. I love
Oh,
pinball a
yeah.
ton.
Pinball's fun.
But yeah, love pinball. So what I'm doing is funny because where we live, I got this the basement at my house, and we've been out here, geez, like 25 years, and you always get these things, and I'm going to do this, and I got a pool table down there and
Yeah.
stuff, and I was always like, we're going to turn it into kind of like a pool hall, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we never really finished it. We had the table, and but we never. I mean, I never went down there really. I don't go down and play it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like I don't play pool. We live out in the country. We don't entertain a lot. So it's more of just a. I hate to say it, it's a really nice pool table. That's an expensive laundry table.
Right. Yeah. It's probably
You know
got
what I mean?
paper and socks on it.
Oh yeah, it's just got laundry and everything like that. So it's funny because just recently, because a couple of years ago, I got a original Donkey Kong arcade cabinet that
Awesome.
was the original cabinet, and then it got updated with so it's got the better display, and then it's got like 40 or 60 games in it,
Mhm.
and so that was my like first step down this wormhole. And then I picked up a pinball machine. I got it was about 3 or 4 years ago. I got a Rocky and Bullwinkle pinball
Oh,
machine,
cool.
and that was so much fun. So I had the one pinball, and then the one arcade game, and then picked up another pinball machine. I picked up like a Flintstones pinball machine the other day, and then I don't know if you guys follow any of the pinball stuff, but then just picked up a road show, a Bill and Ted's road show. Have you guys ever seen that pinball? It's one of the top 10.
I'm not sure.
Are you there?
Yeah. Yep. We can hear you.
Yeah.
No,
So
I've never
now
heard of I've never heard of Bill and Ted's Road
now I
Show.
got. Yeah, it's a really good one. It has those animated heads
Oh,
inside
cool.
the machine. It's an iconic game, and now so I decided to gut the basement and completely get rid of the idea, and I'm gonna literally turn it into an arcade, and I'm gonna have probably 5 or 6 pinball machines and probably 4 or 5 arcade machines, and then I'm just going to do the walls and the lights. And because I went to these arcades as a kid, and I'm like, and my wife loves games too. When we got married, we got married in the early '90s, and and I was telling you that we took over the business, and she was 19 and I was 21 when we took over our
Wow.
business, right? And we got married at that age, and but I guess we were different than most people our age because we were running a business and
Yeah.
everything, and we didn't drink and party or anything like that. So on the weekends we went to the Copper Q and played
Heck yeah,
pinball
dude.
That's awesome.
and arcade and to the mall and played arcade.
That's perfect.
And
Yeah.
then and then drove around and stopped at all the luxury car dealerships and dreamed about cars that we would love to have.
There you go.
That was it. It's games and cars. That's it
That's
for us.
awesome.
He's like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna own this DeLorean. I'm gonna have it.
I grew up in Wichita, and I was younger, obviously, and I just remember the Copper Cube being like this sanctuary. Like it was somewhere where I wished I could go, but I never got to go there because I was
Yeah.
too young, and I never had anybody old enough that
Oh,
would take me.
really?
Yeah, I never got to go before it
Right.
closed down. So it's one of
Oh,
things.
bummer.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of sucks. But My arcade was really at the bowling alley. My parents bowled every Sunday, and so the arcade at the bowling alley, we were always begging for quarters to go play NBA Jam and Cruising USA and all of those games. So.
Yeah, bowling alley was a good place. They always had 4 or 5 games. It seemed like.
Yeah. Have you heard of of a thing called Scorebit?
Scorebit? No, it doesn't ring a bell.
So Scorebit turns old pinball machines into internet connected pinball machines, and then it connects them all to a database where you can get all the high scores and stuff from that machine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
You can attach it to any old pinball machine, and it will connect it to the internet and get it up there. Yeah, so kind of cool.
That's insane. I've heard too that they've actually uploaded and digitized classic pinball machines
I've heard that
into
too.
Electronic. Yeah, I haven't ever seen or played one, but I'm kind of an old school guy, an analog guy. I just I love
hitting those buttons on an old school pinball machine is just cool, man. And pulling that thing back, sound. And yeah, it's awesome.
Yep. It trips a lot of senses, the audio, and then some of these machines like that Roadshow I have, it has that shaker motor in it,
Oh, really?
And so you do the multi-ball and this and that, and the whole machine goes.
That's awesome.
Playing that at midnight, just shaking the house.
Yes. Yeah, it is so cool. But like I said, just going back there, I remember my first exposure to video games, and because I'm kind of your historian here. I was
right.
there, right?
Yeah.
But the YMCA when I was probably 8 years old, right? Asteroids. I walked into a YMCA.
The YMCA?
And I'm like, yes. And they had a whole bunch of arcade games in the YMCA. And I walked in there and there was an Asteroids machine. And I'm like, I was blown away. I'm like, what is this? They had Asteroids, and then they had Stunt Cycle. I'm sure I'm going way back, but I don't know. You guys are pretty into games, so you might know some of these. I know
titles. Asteroids for sure. Did Asteroids have the ball? What? Was it the one with the ball?
No, Asteroids is. It was so
just buttons
generic.
and a
you
joystick.
Had a little triangle-shaped spaceship, and then the big rocks, and when you hit it, it would break into smaller rocks.
And you had to shoot them all.
Yeah, and then Stunt Cycle. You'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
that was like one of the first ones where you're jumping buses and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
That was my first exposure to actually seeing, and it's kind of interesting because when I grew up as a kid, my grandparents actually ran some arcade stuff.
Huh.
And when in the basement, because you kind of reproduce when you get older, you always kind of like bring back your childhood.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're doing that with this podcast.
When I was growing up, there you go. We had a pinball machine, a pool table, and a mechanical flying spaceship arcade game I was growing up as a kid in the basement. Yeah, so I guess it's kind of an ingrained.
Yeah.
But so you guys, your console stuff, like what is your retro consoles? Like what did you grow up with in your hands?
Yeah, I mean for me it was the NES and then the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
And then Nintendo 64 after that. I know you played
Little
Genesis, Sega more than I did for sure. And so like Super Mario Brothers, Excite Bike, Duck Hunt, all of those games on NES, and then Super Nintendo. Right. That's when I was a big wrestling nerd. And so that's when wrestling video games really started to come out, was when the Super Nintendo hit. Yeah. So
they were awesome too.
Yeah, the WWF games and the WCW games. So those are really the oldest memories. Like I didn't have an Atari or anything like that prior. It was just NES. Right. I got an NES when I was like 5 for my birthday, and that was the very first video game system I had. So
that was probably the early 90s.
1990
or mid 90s.
Yeah, 1990. I would have got us that regular Nintendo for my birthday.
Oh yeah, I remember my first console was the ColecoVision.
Oh yeah,
and and that was expensive. I mean, we didn't we didn't have a lot of money, my mom, I remember because they had the port for Donkey Kong, and they had the best Donkey Kong version on ColecoVision. And I mean the whole 6 months before Christmas, right? I was just
begging.
This is all I want. I don't care about anything. And sure enough, man, I got a ColecoVision for the Christmas of 1984.
What was it cartridges? Like, did you have to stick something in the top of it or what?
Yeah. Yep, cartridges, and just popped it right in.
He's like, no, it was digital download.
It was CDs at that point.
Yeah, no,
way ahead of its time. Yeah.
No, but it is pretty cool, and there's some really cool stuff too. I go down the YouTube wormhole, of
Yeah.
gaming and stuff. But you've heard of ColecoVision,
Oh
I
yeah.
assume. They were like one of the big names, Atari, ColecoVision, and Television.
Yep.
What was the other one? There was about 3 or 4 big
Commodore
names.
64.
There you go, right, Commodore, and but Coleco is Connecticut Tool and Leather.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it makes like what? Like,
No
how does
sense.
that get into video games? But if you want to go and check out a cool story, there's a really good YouTube video on the history of ColecoVision. Go
Huh.
watch it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Yep. So arcade, I have to have you guys out, man. I'll get this thing
yeah.
finished.
Yeah, that'd be
I'll have you
awesome.
guys out.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
It'll be a kind of a work of progress, because
Yeah,
you pick up
you're gonna
games,
build
it's
it.
like cars, when you find good deals and stuff here and there,
Yeah. We actually for events, we actually bought a cabinet that I need to build for the event. I haven't built it yet. It's still in the box. But one of the one up it's a Capcom 14, so it's got the very best 14 Capcom games in it.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna build that, and we're gonna have that out at the event up on a table for people just to play for free. So that'll be kind of cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one up, they've really gone and just kind of like built little 2/3 scale cabinets of all these games, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. And
Yeah.
they're actually full size. They just aren't as tall. So you have to kind of either put them on a table or build a bottom cabinet for them. But they're pretty cool. They're digital screens, and the buttons are better and all of that. So
right.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool to have people out playing that thing. That'd be a blast when you get more done out in your basement for us to come down and check it out. That'd be super fun.
Yeah, right now I've got a lead on a again, I'm going back to like the beginning of the boom of all this, but I found an original Japanese Taito Space Invaders.
Oh wow.
In mint condition, yeah, and because there was 2 versions of it. There was the Japanese version that was the original that came out, and then there's a company, Bally or somebody, bought the license or the rights to it, and so they're a little bit different. So it's a different kind of company. But the Taito one, the Japanese, like all the writing on it is in Japanese.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And the artwork is just ridiculous. It really, to me, it's like they're fun to play, but also looking at the cabinets, to me, it's kind of crazy, but they're works of art.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
They really are. So it just, but that Space Invaders, it's like dun 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 dun.
Just, all the sounds, man. Like we were down in Dallas about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and we recorded the podcast in an arcade. So we had all the arcade games around us, and it was crazy loud in there with all of those arcade games going. And so we got.
I know, and it just sensory overload.
It
right?
is, yeah. And I got to see some of the really like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game 2 and WrestleFest, and just some of the really old ones that I remember that were just so awesome. They had them in there. The bad thing about arcades today, though, is that it's all free play and you don't have to get quarters, and so you lose and you just start over. Like there's no
you don't have as much invested, do you?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, just kill this game off and start another one, right?
Exactly.
If you mess up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, man, when I was a kid, man, those quarters came hard.
I know,
right?
Yeah,
So I mean, you milked out everything you had,
Yeah.
I'll tell you kind of something kind of fun. You guys are talking about the arcades and stuff. I'm not like a Vegas guy or a gambling guy, but I've been to Vegas and I found out that there's a giant pinball and arcade museum in Vegas. Have you heard about it?
I have. I've seen it. Yeah. I've never been to it, but I have heard of it.
Have you been in it?
Nope.
Oh yeah. So it's funny, people go to Vegas to do all kinds of crazy stuff. When I went to Vegas, I was at the arcade playing all it. It's huge. I mean, so if you go there, you definitely go there, because I mean the pinball machines and the arcades and everything they had in there was phenomenal.
We have a
amazing
connection
things
to
I've never seen.
the biggest arcade in the U.S. right in Chicago.
Yeah.
Through the Collector's Maze. It's one of our
knows
buddies.
those guys. Yeah.
So that'd be amazing. Yeah, Chicago.
I haven't heard of that one. What's it called?
I can't remember what he called it. I don't remember what it's called.
Us, but we'll have to put it on here. But he said it's the biggest in the nation. So I'd be crazy to go visit that and check them out.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
Oh yeah, I imagine you guys. I'm kind of surprised I haven't seen it.
yeah. I mean, you plugged the Euro-Asian. We talked about the DeLorean. What else you want to talk about, Bob?
Well, let's talk about like let's talk about the Back to the Future. You know, where
Yeah.
you're kind of promoting the
Yep.
promoting this block party. So let's talk about this block party. Let's talk about what's happening there
Yeah, I mean,
and the movie.
like I said, the big thing is we're gonna have the DeLorean down there, so that's gonna be awesome. We're gonna let people take pictures with it, so that'll be really cool. I don't know if you want people inside of it or not. We'll talk through that, but we'll definitely have the gull wings open, and we'll let people stand in front of it and take pictures.
Yeah.
And then Mike is a chef, so he's gonna be cooking. He's gonna do. I don't know. Have you decided what you're cooking?
I
yeah.
haven't
I
decided
see
yet.
FoodieMikeC on the
Yeah.
title there.
Yep, FoodieMikeC. He's actually been on Food Network, and he's done all kinds of stuff.
No way.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
done all kinds of. He caters for bands and celebrities and sports teams and all kinds of stuff. So, but we won't make his head any bigger than it already is. No, but so he's going to be cooking for us down there.
Cool.
Jerry Fike, he's the guy that owns the theater, and so he's going to be playing the movie for free for anybody that comes at 7:30 after the block party. And then we're just gonna have a bunch of vendors down there.
DJ, we'll
have
have a beer
DJ
garden.
Yep, there'll be a beer garden. Jerry's gonna get a beer garden going, so we're gonna block the street off from end to end down there, and just have a big party, have some fun, and then watch a movie afterwards. So.
Yeah, that sounds like an awesome event. Like I said,
Mhm.
that's that when you kind of reached out to me initially, I'm like, okay, what, you're doing the same. I'm like, okay, what is it that we're doing?
Right,
Like,
exactly.
what,
Yeah, you were
what is this event?
right,
We're
exactly.
talking about food and Back to the Future movie and all that stuff. I'm like, count me in.
Sounds
That
good.
sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. So.
But when did you guys first see the movie?
Man, I saw it when I
God.
was a kid. I mean, I saw it definitely, at 10 years old, probably.
Not when it came out, but
Yeah, not the year it came out for sure, because I was 6 months old. But
yeah,
and then I've watched it a bunch since, and watched
Right.
all the other ones a bunch since. I don't know. Have you watched it recently?
no,
No?
it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny. Really? Yeah. So I actually saw all of them in the theaters as they came
Awesome.
out.
What's your favorite one?
Yeah, that was.
He's like 3.
I don't know. I mean, they're all like, it because the whole thing, it's like one big story,
It
right?
is. Yeah, absolutely.
So really, it's like telling us like which chapter of a book do you like the best?
Mhm.
Because really, it's a book, right? 3 chapters, but and a lot of people don't like the second one. It's kind of dark, but I think it's pretty cool.
To me, the
But-
second one's the best one, and it's the most iconic one to me. It has all of the
Yeah.
stuff in it. It's got the shoes. It's got the actual flying DeLorean. You didn't really get to see that in the first movie. I
Right.
mean, at the very end you saw it, but it's
Yes.
got the coat and the hat and all the iconic stuff from the hoverboard. All of that
going into
stuff.
the future.
Yeah,
going into
exactly.
the
Back to
future,
the future, not back to the
The
past.
first one's charming and it's kind of cute, and then but the second one has all the tech.
Yeah, exactly. It
For
was
sure.
funny because there's a 95 Mustang in that movie that drives by when he's in the city, and it's funny
Yep.
to see or a 93 Mustang, maybe it was one of those square bodies, and it's funny to see that because that is not at all what a 2015 Mustang looked like. But what they thought it would look like, so futuristic, is just hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting. There's a lot. If you look at a lot of the cars and kind of dissect them, there's I think there's a Citroen in there, a DS, because that car came out in like '55, but that tells you how futuristic that car was, right?
Mhm.
But and then there was Biff's 6 Series BMW,
Yeah.
in Back to the Future 2 and everything. But yeah, it's really cool to see what their vision of the future was,
And they got some
but
things
then the
right.
third one, like I said, it's kind of corny.
Yeah, no,
some things.
I hate the third one, actually. I think it's the worst movie
It's
out of
just
the 3.
cheesy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just didn't think the acting was great. It felt like they packed it in because they knew they had something special in the first 2, and they
Right.
just didn't do a good job in it. And so,
Yeah. I think 1 and 2, yeah, for sure. I think 1 and 2 are the really are the standouts, and third just has a whole different vibe to it.
It does.
It's still fun. It's still fun to watch.
I
but,
agree. It is fun to watch
you
still. And
it's not like the first and second one though.
no, it was too different. Going back to the Wild West was just a little bit. Yeah, I wanted to see
Too far
too
off.
far back. Yeah.
like a stretch, you
Yep.
know, like what can we like? Okay, we're running out of ideas. What can we think of
Right.
next?
Going
you
back to
know?
1955 from 1985, that's pretty cool to see, to go backwards, and then
Yes.
coming forward to 2015 to see what they thought was cool. So I mean, I don't know what they really would have done. Maybe go back to the 60s, or even further forward to, but then you don't. I mean, you're getting way out of your league there to even know what's going to be futuristic. So it would have been tough, but
Right. Yeah, I just recently ordered the 3 DVD. It's funny because through all the history of the releases, back when it was VHS tape, right? Well, then they had a special collection,
yep,
So I've got 2 or 3 collections of Back to the
nice,
Future, but the most recent one is like 4K Blu-ray
right.
Back to the Future, and I will tell you what.
Is
You
it-
watch that on a like a 4K. I have an OLED
Uh-huh.
Sony TV, and you watch that
Looks
4K
awesome.
on there. Oh, you can't watch it on anything else after you see that. It's just unbelievable, the detail. It's kind of fun,
Yeah.
So because when you watch them when there's so much better, it's kind of like watching it again.
Yeah, no, that's great. And it's crazy that they were able to record that high of rate back then,
Yeah.
when there was no way you were ever going to play it at 4K back when they recorded it
Right.
that way. And now we're just now finally getting to see it. So
Yeah, with all the technology today, they can take that analog film and they can just
yep.
clean it up and digitize it, and
Yeah.
whatever, and it's kind of maybe it's I don't know. It's like people like vinyl or people like digital. You know what I mean? It's kind of like
Mhm.
maybe making it too clean loses some of the character. I don't know, but it's still pretty fun.
I don't think so on a movie. I mean, I think the more
Yeah,
crisp you can make it, the
I
better on a
agree.
movie. So
Yeah, yeah. Audio, the sound is different. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like analog versus digital. But when you're looking at something, grainy isn't more pleasing than
Never.
clear in
Never.
any anything that I can think of.
Yeah, never. Cool. Well, we're gonna record the rest of this thing. So if you want to
Cool.
hit stop on your side, and we'll cut this thing into the middle, and we'll
Awesome.
see you on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you, and we'll bring it down there and have some fun.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, cheers, guys.
See you
Appreciate it.
later. We are back. That was fun with Bob.
That was fun, Bob.
Thanks for
I want
coming
to go
on, Bob.
hang out. I want to go see his
Dude,
basement. That's a weird thing to say about another man, but
it is. But his basement sounds like it's going to be pretty cool with that arcade
Yeah,
in it.
it is.
And he's got pinball machines down there, and he seems like a cool dude.
Super cool guy.
You guys heard in the interview, he's a little bit older than we are. So he was in the arcades when we were babies. He was in the arcades doing stuff. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And go check out Bob at Euroasian. Go check his website out if you're in the market for a new car.
Come see this DeLorean. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, come check the DeLorean out at the Regent and take a picture with it.
Yep.
Marty McFly might even be there.
Word on the street.
He's just older and fatter, but it may be Marty.
Yeah. Dude, I have been so damn tired. It has been a week.
Still?
Dude, still. But with that being said, it's like, okay, so I went to Pittsburgh through Real California Milk, which if you've ever heard the ad, like happy cows come from California.
Is that?
Those people.
It's
yeah.
those people?
Those people.
You buried the lead, bro. I didn't realize
so,
it was that.
Yeah, it's like you just thought like some
Golly, I thought it
milk
was
or
some
cheese
random
company.
cheese
Like,
company.
no, man, like it's
This
a
is
big
California milk. Holy
deal.
smokes.
So they are literally like they do marketing for like a collection of farmers. You know what I mean? These farmers are doing all the milk, the cheese, like all that stuff. So I won a contest from them a couple years ago, this national contest they had, and they asked if I can come to this chef event and cook for chefs. And I'm immediately just like, yeah, cool, whatever. And then it's like the closer it came, the more I got into it, I'm like, God, that sounds crazy. Like
I was gonna say, you were nervous,
dude. It's hard when you're like doing stuff in your profession for like other professionals. You know what I mean? Like I get nervous. I don't want to say nervous, but like anxious, I guess. Kind of like I want to make sure everything's perfect at any given time, whether it's a birthday, wedding, like whatever. But to know that you're cooking for other industry professionals, like that's a whole new thing.
Yep.
But man, it was really cool though. Like we went out, I did some Brazilian cheese bread, and then I also did this Nashville chicken style fried mozzarella.
It sounds so good. I can't believe
Dude.
you haven't made that for me yet.
It was crazy, man. It's like it's got a little spice. It's kind of smoky. It's sweet, and then you have like I put sliced pickles on it as well.
Oh
So,
shoot, it was like a Nashville hot
dude,
chicken, freaking
yeah.
mozzarella sticks.
So
What'd you
you get
dip it
that.
in? Nothing.
I made a Nashville sauce. No, I didn't dip it in like ranch or anything. I just made the Nashville sauce
Mhm. And then you tossed it
and
in
coated
that, or-
it, and then put the pickles on it. And man, we had a lot of good food. There was a lot of great people there, a lot of great chefs that I met and everything. And I remember like immediately getting into Pittsburgh, you know, and I'm hungry, and I'm talking to the Uber driver, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm first thing I'm gonna go look for some food or whatever. And he's like, oh man, right across from your hotel, there's this amazing taco spot. It has the best tacos in Pittsburgh. So I was
Come
like,
on.
oh shit, well that's right up my alley. So I go check in, and immediately like I'm walking across the street, and it's cool because like there's all this really cool like cartoon like skulls and just, you know, just different stuff that I'm like, man, that's badass. Like I love the art and everything. I walk in, and it's like pretty small. And there's this girl sitting there by like the hostess station. She's like, hello. And I was like, hey. And then she goes back to her phone, and I'm like,
Oh.
all right.
Uh,
I'm literally standing there for like 5 minutes. And the whole time the bartender kind of just keeps like side eyeing me, just like looking at me. And so this girl's just sitting there. I'm like, am I supposed to go sit down, or is somebody coming? And she's like, oh, I'm sure the hostess will be with you soon. I was like,
who was she?
I have no idea. I don't know if she worked there or if she just friendly. Like, so finally I was like, well, I can just sit at the bar. And
That's what I was going to say. Pro tip: if you're traveling by
Yeah.
yourself, always just say, "Is the bar open?" And if
Yeah.
they say yes, go sit at the bar. You're going to have the best time, a way better time sitting at the bar.
you would think that.
Oh,
So the bartender kind of looked like she'd been crying or something.
oh no!
Don't know what's going on. It was kind of weird. And there was like one guy in there when I got there, one guy who walked in right before I did, and then myself. And it took a while before I got like the drink, the menu, like all that stuff. So it took a little bit, and I'm immediately just like, oh God, you know. So I finally get the menu. I'm looking at, and at this point, I'm fucking starving. Like I'm so hungry. Like, I'm about to get angry. Like how. And it's funny. It's like I'm texting my wife, and I'm like, God, it's taking forever. These guys like. It took me forever to even sit down, you know. It's like it was just super weird. And she's like, just leave, you know. I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. It's gonna be awkward. So, anyways, like, can I get like some chips and salsa or something? Like, while I'm in, like, yeah. And the good thing is the food came out pretty quickly. But what's weird though is as I start looking at the menu, I'm like, these are not normal fucking tacos. Like, so for example, one of the ones I got because it was like their most popular, they call it a double decker. It essentially was like a cheesy gordita crunch kind of a thing with a ranch shell. They make their own like ranch shells. So I'm like, this is just kind of like a kind of better Taco Bell.
Oh no!
So I had this fucker from the cab, you know what I mean? Like tell me like, oh, you gotta get this place. It's like the best food, whatever.
Terrible service.
Yeah, terrible service.
Not great food.
No, it just was not great. So
What
finally
is
I
this guy
left.
doing? See, that's why I said the cab driver probably not the best food critic.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say it's because he's a white guy, but
It probably was.
maybe I don't listen to the white dudes about the best
You
tacos
gotta
in the
listen to
city.
Yelp. You just gotta go to Yelp.
I feel like I had a couple things too. Like I had this like hot chicken place or whatever, and it was just dry and kind of shitty. So I was like, does
Uh-oh.
Pittsburgh
Hot
just
takes on
not?
Pittsburgh.
I was like, does Pittsburgh just not know food? And so then it was turned into Tuesday, the day of the event. So I go there in the morning to this culinary school, doing all my work and everything, talking to all the chefs. And, you know, it was just really cool. You know, there's young chefs in there learning and crafting. And it was just really cool. Nobody had egos, anything like that. Like, it was just a good time. So I get all my prep done. I go to leave. And then I see there's this like Michelin, not rated, but they're recommended soup dumpling spot. So I was like, well, I'm going to give that a shot. So I went and checked it out, even though it was like fucking felt like 101 outside or whatever. I went and had soup dumplings, but I would say that was really good. Like
I saw the picture of those.
Dude.
Those were vibrant dumplings.
Yeah, and they are all like color coded, you know,
Yeah.
like I don't know, man. I'm not even a big truffle person, but one of my favorites was like
I love
this
truffle fries.
this truffle one because it wasn't like a super bold truffle flavor, but damn, it was good.
Real truffles are so expensive.
Yeah, I've never even had real truffle before because it's like shit. I just don't get my poor ass hands on them.
I have.
I'm sure, probably in California.
Yes, and it's crazy, dude. Like
Yeah.
the amount of money they spend on truffles at that place is insane.
I'm sure it's absolutely ridiculous, but I will say I liked Pittsburgh for the fact that like it's a big city, but it doesn't take you fucking forever to get anywhere. You know, it's like they have rivers, so you kind of have to navigate that on bridges. But like I'm not trying to be in the car longer than like 15 minutes to go
Yeah.
to a location, and I didn't have to, so that was really cool. I mean,
Like, what other big cities could you compare it to? Like, that are? Is there any other big city you've been to that's like that?
Maybe Seattle,
Okay,
because Seattle, I feel like, is for the most part kind of confined to like an area. It's still busy, still a lot of traffic, a lot of people, but
but like
it's not.
Chicago, New York, Dallas, those
Yeah, it's
places
like
take
Chicago. Like,
forever.
remember we went to that restaurant? It took us like fucking
Yes.
40 minutes with
And it was-
traffic, and it was like, I can't remember, 3 miles away, 4
I
miles
think
away.
7. It was what it
Maybe,
said,
yeah,
but it took us 45 minutes to
It
get
took us 45 minutes to go 7 miles. Like, that is crazy. But with that being said, fuck the Steelers. But
yes.
it was a cool place, I guess.
Screw you, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I forgot about
It's his
that.
last year too, so hopefully he doesn't pull his Achilles again. Yeah, I put that out there.
Allegedly. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, it was a great trip, and I'm hoping to do more. Like, they kind of talked about how they have a bunch of really cool farms and stuff that I could go to and visit and talk to some people. So I said, hey, let's film some stuff. Let's see some content
In Cali, right?
She's making, yeah, and it's around the Napa area, and I know you have your people out there, so it's like, let me go work in this Michelin restaurant. Let me go film some cheese stuff. Like, just sounds like a great trip already.
Yeah. Awesome, dude. The thing you left out.
Yeah.
What happened with your cheese sticks and your food at the event?
I mean, we may have got Best Bite.
Dude got Best Bite amongst other chefs. He was the best food. Like, tell me he doesn't know what he's doing.
What's crazy is that was kind of the second year in a row for me, even though I wasn't there last year. But I did. So like I said, I won the national award for this with my quesadilla egg rolls. And they asked me.
By the way, holy crap. Dude.
Stupid. They're
so
stupid. But they asked me to come do this event, and I couldn't do it last year.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay. Well, I found I didn't even realize at the time, but
That's wild. You didn't
they
even
made
know.
my egg rolls for that event and had Best Bite last year with my egg rolls
with his recipe.
Yeah, so they're like, man, we kind of want to replicate that. If we can do Best Bite again this year, like, that'd be incredible, And I'm like, well, now I feel like there's a ton of pressure, and turns out everyone was about the Nashville fried mozzarella. So
he did it 2 years in a row, people.
That's crazy. Wow. Hopefully we'll do it again next year. We'll see.
Yeah, there you go.
I got some work ahead of me.
Yeah. Man, what an episode. What a night. We got this peach. First man, we're going to be reaching out. Like, let's go. First man.
Very good.
Very good. Come check out the Wellington Regent. Come check us out. Back to the Future night. It's going to be super fun time. Have a good 4th of July. Be safe.
Don't blow your hands up.
Keep all 10, please. And keep it rad out there. Peace.
Hello.